This was a game that we really had to win. We're going to make the playoffs. This was a big game because they also needed to win. So the team effort that we had early in the game with Josh making threes and Will basically taking over the game after that was pretty impressive. I thought C.J. Gillespie did a great job on Jack. But when it's all said and done, this young man over here who got hurt, he missed in the last 2 weeks. He needed 60 tickets today for the game, so it's probably a little bit personal for him, being at home and everything. I just think that it was a big win for us, and really we're off. We have a bye week next week, so after that, the playoffs are in our hands. We win. I think 5 games will probably get you in the playoffs.
Well, Sheena Quick came back from a rib injury, 2 weeks out, in front of your hometown, set the big 3 scoring record. Can you talk to us a little bit about how that felt?
Right now, it's I'll probably take a minute to calm down and really think about everything that's happening, but more so than anything, I'm kind of in the moment of what's happening, so I'm not too high, kind of too low. It's just staying consistent and constantly preparing one game at a time, and tonight we definitely needed this win, and I thought we did a great job of sharing the basketball and defending. I thought that we defended really well tonight, especially on Sessions and Jackson, forcing them to take contested shots, and I think ultimately that's how we got the win.
Just FYI, Will had a league record, 33 points in this game today.
Well, Kendall Moore, 1690 WVON. We had some of the Chicago guys in from the last press conference. I want to ask you, is there pressure when you come back to the city of Chicago from the circles that you once were a part of relative to some of the violence that's taking place here in the city of Chicago? For you to address some of those, or
that's a great question.
Yeah.
For me, pressure is more so like having 4 or 5 kids with no job, rather than the pressure of a situation or things that's going on that you can control. So for me, it's as a child, I've been gifted enough to be able to be a leader and kind of create my own circle of people. So I don't have people. Here they respect me, so I don't really have to go through those things because they know my background, my history. That I'm real serious about my craft and what I stand for. So with me, it's you either get it or you don't. You're either in a circle or you're not. You either understand or you can't. It's like that simple. There's no gray area with me.
Courtside. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Hey, Will, you played on the west side of Chicago, NBA, all around the world, but talk about what the big 3, what has it been like for you personally this year?
It's been great because I've been able to play at home. I've been able to play at home in front of the people I love, and I grew up watching me. And I haven't been here in the last few years. I've been playing overseas, so a lot of people haven't seen the development of my game as I transitioned from the NBA to playing overseas. So this has been great for my kids. My kids are getting older, and they're able to see me play. It means the world to me right now. I probably won't be able to feel it, emotionally, probably until like a few years from now. But I can definitely, feel how special it is.
That sort of brings a courtside chip. That sort of brings up, first of all, being on the radio, what they talk about, and it's guys who are they going to make teams? Or are they not going to make teams? How did you know that, or how did you know that it was time to leave the league, but also transition to? I think it was Catino earlier who said this is just the next step. There's we have another platform.
I think for certain guys it's different. Each individual guy have a different journey, so their journey of it is different. So their perception of it is different. For me, it's everything because it's a push in order to get back to where I belong. For me,
right.
So it's a little bit different from guys like Catino, who's been playing a long time and has had a great NBA career. For me, I still have a lot of chips on my shoulders. I'm still hungry and I still can play. I'm in great shape, no injuries. So other what I'm going through now, but, you know, I never make any excuses. I'm just going to keep battling and fighting and constantly preparing myself and grinding and trying to, you know, get wins.
But do you see the guys who are, you know, that you hear about on the radio, whether it be Mello or Jeremy Lin or Jamal Crawford, those guys can come in here and just as easily as you make an impact, and that just, I think that says something to the depth of Big Three and the platform. You've got chips on your shoulder. What has Big Three afforded you in being able to lighten the load maybe a little and just say, hey, I can't.
Yeah, but also Big Three had a chance to draft me last year.
Right.
I was in the draft. I haven't forgot. I remember it real well. So I mean, this is a great opportunity. At the same time, these guys are targets to me. So I mean, that's the way I'm approaching, you know, each game, and that's the way it's going to be.
Coach, what's it like to have a player that's so hyper-focused? You are a hyper-focused individual without question.
Well, he said it first. He said he's got a chip on his shoulder, and that's, you know, when you have a chip on your shoulder, whether it be basketball or life, you grind it out, and that's what he's doing, grinding it out. And he also said that everybody's a target, which means he takes it personally. So makes me smile because I remember when, and when you have that type of attitude, you're always going to have some type of laser focus on what you're trying to accomplish, and whether it be basketball or anything else. It's very important for just to be successful in life in general.
Well, early in the last press conference, Corey mentioned you. I posed a question, Coach Will. I posed a question that there are rumors out there about some of you guys being drafted and getting back to the NBA. Corey specifically named you as one of those people who had the potential of doing that. Would you like to expand on this comment?
I mean, I've never been a type of person to talk about myself. I mean, I feel kind of weird doing that, like, you know, like promoting myself to the NBA when I have a resume and a consistency, when I've been doing things the right way, you know, consistently for so long. You know, I feel like that's where faith comes in, and you know, that's a part of my foundation and who I am, and I truly believe that it's a higher being watching my work and watching, you know, the way that I approach each day, daily, no matter what's going on, no matter what's thrown at me, and constantly trying to grow. So I have more so faith in the higher being and more so faith in humans.
Well, you're coming off injury. What were your expectations coming into today?
To win. That's really it.
Not like put up big numbers.
Nah, I mean, I was just going to be ultra aggressive on both ends and make the right plays. It's just, you know, one of those days or one of those games where, you know, it was for me to, you know, constantly keep attacking. And, you know, the guys, you know, I've got great teammates who aren't selfish, who constantly got me in position and, you know, constantly vocal about, you know, giving me opportunities to be aggressive. And, you know, that's everything, you know, when you're dealing with a team.
Reggie, let me ask you. You talked about Will mentioning he had a chip on his shoulder, and you talked about you remember when. The game of basketball has evolved so much from when you played to what we see today with these mega teams and these super teams, and all the players this generation of players are getting together to play with each other, as opposed to back when you were coming up.
I'm not sure if that's evolving, but I understand what you mean.
It's changed.
Yes.
It's changed from when we grew up,
Right.
as opposed to what we're seeing now. What are your thoughts, your perspective on the changes of the game?
You know, I first of all, I'm old school, so I grew up in the era and played in the era where guys stayed with their main team. If you were a mega star, that was your team, and you didn't even think about going anyplace else. But at the same time, it was different times. We didn't have cell phones either. There was no internet. We played AAU ball. There was one AAU team in Los Angeles. Now there's probably 201, where these guys have been playing and they all know each other. The other thing in the CBA, we didn't have the opportunity. We didn't have the control of our contracts like these guys do. So the ability to make those moves, don't get me wrong, I'm from Los Angeles, Brooklyn. watching, I grew up 3 miles from the Forum. If I had a chance to play for the Lakers, I would have done it in a heartbeat. You know, so I think that mostly when you find old school guys saying those things, yeah, they mean it because that's the way we grew up, but we didn't really have the opportunity to make those changes. We didn't have control like that. So most of our contracts were, you know, somewhat long-term, where these guys are, you know, 2 years and out. So I think that goes along with society today. There's no loyalties on any level.
What do you think that, wait, one more question. What do you think that does for not only basketball, but for sports in general?
Well, I think in a lot of ways, in a lot of ways it hurts the fans, you know, because people like to cheer for their team, and their team has their guys on it, and the guys are there for a long time. But at the same time, it's built in so that when a guy's not doing well, they can get out of the contract too. So it works both ways. But when it's all said and done, the NBA is thriving on every level. So I think people are excited, more excited this year than I've seen in my entire career. And my career spans almost 3 generations of basketball, of what's coming up next season. So with all those free agents, with all those movements, I think everybody's pretty excited about NBA basketball right now.